Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Torment, Tides of Numenera. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today as we join the Memovira over here, the Lady of the Bloom. Well, and now it's the ex of the Bloom, as it were, because the Bloom doesn't like her anymore. But she is still protected, she is still defended by all these thugs. And last episode we were brought here by Dracogen, who instructed us on how to get killed, which was weird. But if you want to know what I'm talking about, go back and check. Anyway, the Memovira is a medium-sized woman, regal in bearing. She scrutinizes you with a look that manages to convey both admiration and disdain. So he escaped Mil Avest, she thinks. A shame he chose to come here. Is it a shame for you? I suppose so. Maybe that's not what she's thinking, but... though her words are cultured, her voice is rough, perhaps an artifact of low upbringing. Dracogen was... effusive in his praise for your skills. I've been following your movements myself. You moved the trade post out of the depths. There are very, very few people who can manage such a feat. The way she looks at you and holds herself suggests that she might be wary, or even slightly afraid, of said accomplishment? The Bloom has surely turned against me, she thinks, if he can do what I could not. Her eyes are piercing as they sweep across you. I've dealt with cast-offs before, of course. I've found your kind to be tenacious, resourceful, and skilled, and I know the one you are looking for. I can tell you where she is hiding. So... what do you want in return? So interesting, so wise, she chuckles. I understand that this first cast-off has been hidden from your kind for over a century, that you thought she was dead. Well, know that I have no qualms about betraying her, but the cost will be steep. I've lost someone, an important member of my organization. You've no doubt heard of the recent changes in the Bloom. Perhaps you have even heard the rumor that it has turned against me, the Bloom. To some extent, that is true. Ishin is a victim of that betrayal, and she looks at the floor saddened. Ishin was my best scholar, a genius with the Numenera. Though through my own means, she says, I divined that he still lives, but I cannot reach him. The Bloom has taken Ishin to its heart. Oh. Yeah, aren't you supposed to go there as well? Because that's what happens to all the Memovira? I've lost more men than I care to think about while trying to recover him. As a cast-off, however, you have certain advantages my minions do not. And her tone becomes curt. With the recent fluctuations in the Bloom's layout, I no longer know the path to reach the heart. I suggest you talk to someone who knows the Bloom well, if you cannot discover the way yourself. I can no longer afford to send anyone who is not otherwise expendable, she thinks. The first is powerful. If you tell me where she is, I'm sure together we can rescue Ishin more easily. Her laughter rings through the fortress like a death knell. Oh, she is powerful. Of that have no doubt, Cast-Off. And I am sure she will not be as helpful as you think, to you as you think. And her smile disappears as quickly as it arrived. I do apologize if I give the impression that this was a discussion. Her voice hardens. I have made my offer. Rescue my friend from the Bloom's heart, and you shall have the location of your precious firsts. Fail, and you will not. Do I make myself clear? And her voice returns to these ordinary tones. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an organization to maintain.
Making a note.
She addresses her guards. See that the cast-off doesn't get lost on his way out. Okay, I was actually hypothesizing in my head that we might be able to attack her. That would be interesting. We could. Well, we could. I mean, nah, probably not, actually, to be honest. The game's combat system is pretty balanced. I like that. In that, when facing enormous challenges like what we saw in Ascension Hall, not Ascension Hall, in Ascension itself, the Ascension, that we got owned, absolutely owned. We have level ups on pretty much everybody. He didn't though. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Yes. Don't you be smug at me. Okay, he's almost there. This is my. Okay, still gold and blue. Ability or skill? Let's go with skill over here. See what I can do. I can get intimidation, persuasion. I don't. That's my. I'm the only one that has that. Persuasion, I mean. Right? How is it? Nah, he's got that. I mean, he's not as good as I am, but... let's go with an ability here. Onslaught? Nah. Mind control? Nah. 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 Let's see. Skill. It's just one skill, right? Yeah. Okay, I could get, healing, that'd be a nice thing, maybe. Deception. Does anybody have that? Let's go with deception. I mean, I'm so good at this, it doesn't really matter getting the extra skill point. Just amazingness. Just brilliancy. Brilliancy, if that's a word. Okay, so you're now tier 4. You're still tier 4. Let's go with abilities and skills over here. This is for Eratis. He's got healing, persuasion, running initiative, and endurance. Health per level. Inability decreases health by 2. Okay, that's pretty decent. Maximum effort, that's okay. The hedge, sure. The stat pools, to be honest. Fell swoop. You don't have... Oh, it's an increased version of that. You know what? I think I would go for initiative. Oh, for endurance, rather. Just make him a proper tank if we need him. And I think I'm gonna go with that. There we go. That's my investment there. Extra effort here for Aligern, maybe. Increased stat pools. Extra effort might be a little bit better for him. I mean, he's useful in a lot of skills, so that might bring him up a little bit on par with other people. It's kind of funny that he has. I mean, they all have one severely handicapped pool, except for him actually, that has two relatively handicapped pools. But it's good that that's like that, because we were definitely not like this. The game is balanced for us to be able to do most of the work, which makes sense. But it does, I think, I wouldn't be against just normal, you know, oh, and by the way, I know where I'm going. Just normal gating of content, so you need different characters. And then, of course, building missions based on the gated content. And when I say content, I mean paths, because regarding missions as content is insulting and terrible. Well, it's not insulting if the game deserves to be insulted, but the thing is, it makes for a better game if it doesn't. Grizzler, yeah, I need to talk to you. Oh, you spoke to her, didn't you? He says. To the Bloom, I mean. And she listened. No wonder the Memovira wants to get rid of him. Oh, did I speak to the Bloom? Well, maybe the Bloom listens to those who warrant attention. There we go. Grizzler barks and laugh. Oh, maybe so. I like your confidence. But others around here might not. See, there ain't nobody else who can talk to the Bloom like that, except maybe the Memovira, and she don't enjoy competition, if you catch my meaning. And he shrugs, and the lopsided grin returns. That kind of adds more credence to my thought before, that I could become the Memovira of this place. But then again, I don't know if that's a good thing, or a good ending. Anyway, now, what can I do for you? I know all about the Bloom and her moss. And actually, when did I speak to the Bloom? I don't remember that. I simply don't remember that. Was it when we touched those wiggly tentacles things in that other place over there? Could be. Or over here, rather. Oh, that's right, because you're supposed to talk to this guy. Okay, so you're supposed to talk to this guy right as soon as you leave. So that's why he has that. So that's again and again and again. Where did the merchants go? That's a good one. Let's go with that. Where did the merchants go? Oh, on about their business, he gestures vaguely at the newly opened gateway to the trade post. Them sour fellas pay well, but that's all the good I have to say about them. Guess I'll be moving on soon. Got enough chins to hold me over for a while. Okay, so do you know how to reach the heart of the Bloom?
I'll remember that.
Folks say there's a maw that'll take you to the heart. If the stories are true, you can only see if it wants you to. His easy smile fades. Never been there myself. But when I need something from the Bloom, I go to the place where she's most likely to hear me. And he nods his head towards the colossal statue on the other side of the vast interior space. The Shrine of Sheila the Great. Maybe someday, maybe somebody there can set you right. What will I find in the Bloom's heart? Well, I call myself a Bloom guide because I know this sack guts. But the deep places are different. More alive, more conscious, full of voices. Packs of them that wrap themselves in flesh so they can wander around and feed. The heart is where Memoviras are made and unmade. And he pauses uncomfortably. If you go down there, you ain't coming back until the Bloom is finished with you, one way or another. Well, unless I cut the Bloom open and just get out of here like crazy. Yeah, you ever need advice about the Bloom? Come and find me again. Yeah, thank you very much. And actually, I could give him I was wondering for a moment there if I could give him machines. It's like, hey man, you've been helpful, you know your stuff. I hope you don't need to be eaten by the Bloom. So take this and retire. Never come back here. Just seriously, go away. This place might actually all collapse upon itself because I might be too powerful here. Or the things that are about to happen might destroy things. Let's see what happens. You've been talking to the Memovira, she says, the observant spec. She's sent you to claim something from the heart, hasn't she? Or rather, someone. The old woman shakes her head, too frightened to go herself, for she knows what will happen if she does. The cycle continues, she thinks, cycles within cycles. So, again, I might be going down there and coming out the new Memovira. If that is where Memoviras are made. I think the game is hinting at that. But if, what will happen? I ask. The bloom will eat her, body and soul. It doesn't matter how long she puts it off, the bloom will have her in the end. The only question is who it will find to take her place. And she smiles, but you wanted to reach the heart and I can help you.
Making a note.
One gets to the heart in the same way one gets anywhere in the bloom. A maw will take you. And the maw you want is just over there. Over where? Is that a maw over there? No, that's an eye. The spec waves a hand towards the nearest corner of the shrine. You feel like a blindfold has been suddenly pulled from your eyes, and a wave of vertigo nearly knocks you to the floor. When you look up again, a maw has appeared. Oh. Well. Yeah. Sorry about that. The game just crashed, it's okay. Eyes sparkling, the spec reaches out a hand to steady you. Sometimes the bloom hides things from us, she says. Its whispers distract our attention. Our senses perceive what's there, but our minds don't. So the maw has been there all along. So it has, she says, but only my eyes could see. Even now the others are blissfully unaware, and she gestures at the cultists. Some of them catch a glimpse now and then, but the whispers make them forget. Where does it lead? Exactly where you want to go. To the heart. To the source of all the whispers. What does it eat?
I'll remember that.
Predators. But only those who are feared above all others. A person. A creature. The maw doesn't care. Getting them into the maw, that's the hard part. Okay, I think I'll take a look at the maw. A thick mass of flesh protrudes from the wall, surrounded by waving tendrils. It appears to be another maw. Just as the spec told you. Eritis says, if this maw wants a predator, then it's found me. And by that I mean me. And he turns to you. Will it eat me? Please let it eat me. But it will kill you. Oh, but it might not, says Eritis, and he pauses, seemingly unable to think of any other arguments. Anyway, now that it's seen me, I'm sure it won't be satisfied with anyone else. I have a transdimensional scalpel. Let's observe the behavior of the bloom tongues first. You watch as the tendrils wave about, paying close attention to how they respond to those around you. A few tongues drift lazily towards Tibir. He stares at them, muscles tense, like a man making eye contact with his executioner. Then they drift away. He visibly relaxes. The tongues seem confused by Eritis. Some of them orient themselves towards him, their ends twitching furiously, while others pointedly avoid him. I have the head of weights for prey. That's a good thing. Oh, that's... And I have the jar of iron wind. Oh, so that's what it's for. I could offer myself, but that's stupid. Okay, let's leave them all alone for right now, because I want to do something. I want to do something that I probably should have done before. I want to drink the juices of the bloom. It's the most disgusting thing ever. I mean, just... because we know what they are, and also because of how they look, and probably taste, and smell, and probably feel terrible. So hopefully I'll be able to get another flask. Was it here that I got a flask, or is it in another place? Let's see. So collect some of the fluid. There we go. Drink more of the fluid. You take a sip of yellow... Why did we gain experience now? You take a sip of yellowish water. It has a greasy texture and a slightly sour taste, but it quenches your thirst. You take another sip. And you start to hear whispers. They're faint at first, but they grow louder, resolving into the chittering voices of the bloom. They buzz in your ears, scratching at the inside of your skull. You stumble, struggling to keep your balance. Even as your senses dull, the bloom's voice seemed clearer than before. Okay. So we gained... Well, we both gained because we're connected by the rings that we have. Oh, speaking of which, let me see if I can use some of these things that I have over here. That's the meter caster we used. How about this thing? This deep black metal gauntlet twinkles like the stars in the night sky. A hum emanates from its surface. Then you touch the metal. Images flash through your mind, too quickly for you to make sense of them. Okay, let's pay close attention to the images first. You place your hand on the gauntlet again, focusing your mind on the images it gives you. They're quick, just vague impressions of the gauntlet's previous wearers. You see a shadow in the dark, the gauntlet holding a barbed knife in one hand, then pouncing on its victim. The gauntlet has a hand to hold a knife in? Sure. A woman puts the gauntlet on her hand and screams. A Varielan fights against a mob of 7, the gauntlet wielding a wicked mace just before he dies. Okay, so that's the same thing as before, right? Yeah, okay. Examine the gauntlets. The metal it's made from is not iron or steel, but something more fantastic than the metals of the Ninth World. Otherwise, it appears to be a normal gauntlet. You notice the crust of dried blood around the inside. You recall a story linked to a gauntlet that was involved in a string of mysterious murders. Each victim was seen sporting a single black gauntlet for a while, and then later found dead, strangled and missing a hand. A group called God Club, or something along those lines, has mixed up with it. Or was mixed up with it. Anyone who wears the gauntlet is overwhelmed with sudden excruciating pain, as the gauntlet actually consumes the hand and takes its place. Some victims find they cannot remove the gauntlet, others can, but when they take it off, there is nothing but a stump underneath. Replacing the gauntlet over the stump causes it to reattach and function fully as the old end. Okay, I'm gonna put this gauntlet on, but I'm gonna save just in case I die or something happens that I don't want to happen. Probably nothing. It's gonna be fine. But this is probably gonna take away a little bit of my health and give me a skill or something. Let's put the gauntlet. Yep, there it is. 5 health. It wasn't even permanent. The moment you, or maybe it was. Oh, well, awesome. The moment you slip our fingers into the glove, the gauntlet bites down on your arm. It feels like millions of razors slide up and down your arm, flaying the skin, then the muscle, then the bone. It's so bad that you pass out from the pain. When you wake, the gauntlet lies on the ground and your hand has regrown. It seems your regenerative abilities are stronger than the gauntlet's hunger. Even so, you feel some of the gauntlet's power in your nearly regrown hand. I hadn't considered that, but that's okay. I'm gonna put it on again, and that's probably just gonna do damage again. I just don't want to die, because it's kind of a pain to come back here. Well, it isn't, but, well, just in case something terrible happens, I did save there. Let's put that in the hand again. Oddly, nothing happens when you put the gauntlet on this time, and for whatever reason, it does not consume your newly grown hand. Okay, so we gained speed and intellect, was it? Or might? Maybe might. Speed was one thing. I think it might have been intellect or something. We're good. So we can sell that now. Good. How about this thing? Compass of the Navigator. Soul of the Forgotten. This casket is all that remains of the forgotten people who lived and prospered in the Ninth World. Their names are etched in the lead, in markings that resemble the known language. No known language, yeah. While beautifully engraved on the outside, the casket is minimalist, even bare on the inside, and a single pastille lies within, containing a single pastille, yeah. Did I say? I know what it means. It's like a thingy, it's a French word, but it's also English. It's like a pill. It's a pill lies within, containing the essence of those who created it. Let's use it. Not take the pill, or maybe it is. It's right there. You're holding a small box in your hands. It is shaped like a casket and beautifully ornamented with writing etched. By the way, we found this in the Murden's treasure. With writing etched into the lead in markings that resemble no language you know of. By contrast, the casket is minimalist, even bare. On the inside, a single pastille lies within. Let's inspect the markings on the lead first. A skillful hand etched these markings deep into the lead. The glyphs are intricate and strike you as ideogrammatic, but you can't decipher them. And yet they seem oddly familiar, as if you have seen them before. If not in this life, then in another. Let's try to remember where you've seen these glyphs before. And it's a free, I think it's a free thing. It's a critical success, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Memory blossoms, but it is hard to comprehend what you're seeing. It is as if it's seen through the eyes of someone not human. Do you speak this language or do you not? You see your fingers trace a pattern on a set of glyphs very similar to those on the casket's lid. Almost reflexively, you repeat the pattern on the lid. The casket lid opens, revealing that a small blue figure with long, spindly limbs has now appeared, lying atop the pastille, opening some of his many eyes to look up at you. The figure clambers up to sit on the edge of the casket. Several eyes are focused on you, blinking at irregular intervals. He starts speaking in a high, wailing tone. You can't understand a word he is saying. Recognizing this fact, he picks up the pastille and reaches it up towards you. Is this a reference to Cthulhu or something? A small blue figure with long, spindly limbs. I don't know what spindly is, but it kind of reminds me of tentacles, but it might not be. Let's eat the pastille. As you consume the pastille, a burning smell immediately overwhelms all of your senses. Flashes of memories try to force their way into your mind, but they are too alien to understand. After some time, your mind settles down, leaving blurry memories and hazy details. Yet somehow, you have gained a full cognizance of the people that this casket memorializes. You understand that the people memorialized by this cask were a secluded people, now long gone, eradicated by a cataclysm event. You feel the nature of this existence as if it were a tangible being. As they neared starvation, there was no crime, no theft. People sacrificed themselves before they would let others die. While you do not know them, you will remember them. As the cognizance ends, you find the creature gone, the casket now burning with a cold fire in your hands. In mere moments, it is nothing but ashes drifting away before your fingers. Aw, screwed it up. Now I need to survive for those things to actually even be remembered. Then I'm not gonna last forever. And even if I do, what does it matter? I need to write this down or something. Is it even possible? It's kind of sad. It's the whole situation for the Dendrohur. Why would you want to eat things to remember them? It's not like it's gonna matter. What does it matter? Do things with the things that you remember. That's what matters. But yeah, we can't, of course, use Patience Everlasting. Why didn't I use this? It grants the ability to Sucker Punch. That's the reason why I didn't use that. And then we have the Astronomical Mirror Caster that we used not too long ago. We got the Chromovalium or something. Okay, we're good to go. We're good to go. Okay, guys. I think this might be... I don't know if this is gonna be the end or not, but we need to go to the heart of the bloom, so... And I'm gonna feed it the head of the monster that we killed. I say monster, but really the construct or whatever. Yeah. Let's offer the head of Waits for Prey. You hold out the construct's head, and the bloom tongues drift towards it. I am here, it cries out. Take my past. Take all that I am. Oh, that's right. Is it alive? Was it alive all along? One of the tongues reaches forward, probing, touching the head almost delicately, sampling the flavor of the mind inside. All for you, whispers the construct softly, as if it's speaking to a small child or a lover. Again, I think that's been a consistent thing. The tendril wraps itself carefully around the head and lifts it from your hands. You watch as the head is pulled towards the maw. More tongues move to assist the first, cradling the construct's head, stroking it gently, attaching themselves to it, quivering as they drink some sort of nourishment from its mind. All for you, the construct whispers again and again, its voice growing fainter and hollower each time. All for you. It disappears into the darkness and is gone. The chittering and hissing of the bloom rise to a sudden climax.
I'll remember that.
And the maw is open. Well, I think it's time to go in. Can I please go in? Right there. This doesn't look very nice. How is this hard? This looks more like A scrotum. No! Dang it. What happened? Oh boy. Who's fighting? Okay. Predatory echoes. Vonation. Tone clusters. What do we have here? A pillar of abominations. Abominations? Yeah, it is. It's probably malformed maws or something like that. A pillar of abominations is erupting from the floor. Pus and bile drip from the tortured mangle and collect to form a moat at its base. And it looks very resembling of the thing that we drank. So yeah, pus and bile. That's probably what it was. The walls are composed of half-formed organs and pulsing arteries. You can hear fluids pumping within and the sound of flesh chafing against flesh. The mouths on this pillar are softly breathing in and out. Long streams of yellow drool flow into the depression below. Well, the depression is what I'm gonna get if I keep staying over here. Well, let's end the episode on this disgusting note, and we'll see what happens on the next one. For now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Torment, Tides of Numenera. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, and I hope to see you next episode. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.